Hello there, my name is Harriet Beecher Stowe, and today I will be answering some of the questions that I have been asked about my views on slavery and what I've done about it. So the first question is, how did I impact people with their view of slavery? And to start off, I've written multiple books, my most famous one being Uncle Tom's Cabin, which didn't really start the Civil War, but it definitely affected American North and South views on it. And so it kind of became a turning point for the abolitionist movement. And I really just tried to bring clarity to people on just what slavery looked like and how harsh and hostile it was. And I set these characters in a place to where it was more like a true story, and you could see just how unforgiving and how terrible the situation was at this time. And I really wanted to be able to help people on both sides see what the nation was going through and what we needed to fix. And though it did start a lot of arguments, and though it has started a lot of just butting heads of different people's political views, I think that what I did was correct, and I would never take that back. And with this book, I demanded that the United States deliver on its promise for just overall equality for all races and the overall freedom that we were promised when we left Britain. And so another question that I received is, what kind of books did I write? And though I've already covered this with Uncle Tom's Cabin and how I wanted to just really expand on everything that happened, that was my most famous book. But I have written more, and though they didn't make as much of an impact as Uncle Tom's Cabin, which, by the way, was published about maybe 2 years ago in 1851, I definitely wanted to help impact people by just being able to use my skills and my love of writing to just promote people's positive views on equal rights and things of that sort. And so a lot of people were angered at the writing of this book, and there were a lot of slaveholders and a lot of copycat works that were made off of my book that I really had to just calm down and think that I was doing this for the good of the American people. And it definitely helped me to be able to just do all that I can for the abolitionist movement. And another question that I got was, what ordinary life actions did I take just as an American citizen to help the cause of the abolitionists? And so something I would say that has definitely helped is my husband very much supports me in my love of writing, and he very much supports my view of equal rights and just helping those who are being treated hostilely and who are being abused in situations that they should not be put in, because it's just not right and it's not fair. And so he's always supported that. And I do currently work at an all-girls school where I teach writing. I teach a writing class to influence the next generation to be free thinkers and to think for themselves, and to see that writing books isn't only for men, but it is also for women, and women can have an impact just like my book Uncle Tom's Cabin did in influencing people's beliefs and possibly starting riots, starting wars. But it's what needs to be done because it's for the cause of what's right. And so another thing that I do in everyday life is I try to influence my own children. And a lot of that is based off of my own religious beliefs. And so that leads us into our next question, which is, how did religion impact my views? So I was raised by Lyman Beecher, who was a very outgoing, very outspoken Calvinist preacher. And he spoke revivals, and he was a huge part in the alcohol ban and just curbing alcohol consumption completely. And so I was one of 11 children, and he definitely very much influenced all of our lives by just all the time preaching about equal rights, about equality, about things, about just keeping true to faith, and that there needs to be this fire for God. And I'm no longer Calvinist. I am a Christian. I identify as a Christian faith, and I usually use, like, in my books, I try to incorporate God and what he does and what he meant for people and how he wants people to be equal. And so I definitely have been completely supported by the people that surround me and the people that read my book. And though there are always going to be people out there that don't want that want slavery, that want just sinful actions, and they are always going to be out there. But having the power to use your voice and to use your beliefs to contradict the wrong in this world is what made me go as far as I did. And so, if I could say anything, it would be that we need to fight, and we need to just keep pushing to be able to just conquer the evil that is going on. And even though I may not cause a war, even though I may not start anything, I want to know that I did what I could for the abolitionist cause. And so the last question, I know I said the last question was the last one, but it's not. So the last question that I've gotten is, how would you feel if this did start something? And I honestly would feel the most pride that I've ever felt in my life, because knowing that I did something for this cause, and knowing that even if it's just changing one person's mind, then that is completely enough for me. Because I definitely feel as though writing a whole book just to change one person's perspective on slavery, on equal rights, and to make them believe how wrong it is, and that is completely enough for me. And so thank you for listening to me and for letting me answer these questions. Thank you.